Our guest today is Lailah. I first met Lailah in the San Francisco Tech Week. We bonded immediately because both of our favorite show is This Is Going to Hurt, which is a show talking about how much suffering and stress the doctor have to deal with in the public hospital in London. And Lailah used to work for the NHS as an OBGYN doctor. And she also had her own practice in London. And 2 years ago, she moved from London to San Francisco to co-found an AI agent company with her sister. This is a company called Esther. And what Esther does is to help practitioners to deal with incoming calls, appointments booking, and follow-ups via AI agent. And one of the distinctive features it has is it's able to reduce the no-show rate by looking at the customer's behavior and optimizing the booking rate for the clinics, thus to increase the revenue. And here's a demo of what Esther can do when you call and it's answered by an AI agent.
I'll put it on speaker.
Hey, you're through to Sam. How can I help you out today?
Oh, hi. I wanted to book in an appointment.
I can help with that. To get started, can I get your full name, please?
Yep, it's Lailah Kara-Newton.
What type of appointment are you looking to book? We offer pregnancy care, gynecological care.
Yeah, I'd like to book in a PAP.
Okay, Lailah, so you're looking to book a gynecology appointment for a pap smear. Which of our clinics would you prefer to visit? We have locations in Brooklyn, downtown Manhattan.
Is the Brooklyn location near a subway station?
Yes, our Brooklyn location at 1091 Wall Street is conveniently located near several subway stations.
Yeah, I'll go for that one, please.
Great choice. Now, what day and time would work best for you for your appointment at the Brooklyn clinic?
Could I do like Monday afternoon?
Scheduled for Monday afternoon at our Brooklyn clinic. Can you please hold for just a moment?
Wow.
Yeah, when she's going to come back and
so
book me in.
smooth.
What do you think?
This is so good.
You like it?
Yeah, no wonder people do really. It's very natural and you feel comfortable.
Two different doctors come together to eat ramen and talk about the most difficult questions in medicine. This is Puzzle Exchange here in San Francisco.
This is such a good bowl. It's got tofu, chickpeas, potatoes. It's very like protein and filling. I love it. I'm on a protein goal at the moment.
You started a company when you were in London?
Yeah, technically. Yeah. Started it when I was in London. I technically was a physician. I was in my residency. But at the time we started it, I was on mat leave. So I was not necessarily, I wasn't actually working. I was with my daughter. And so that gave me a bit of time to like think, and actually like do things. And then I actually took a year out, first of all. So I said, can I take a year out of residency? Is that okay? They were like, that's absolutely fine. And I told them why. And they were like, that's fine. Because it was relative to like OBGYN. It was a similar, they let people go out for research, for other roles and different things. And so they were like quite happy for me to go. Then after a year, they said like, so are you coming back? And I was like, oh. I was like, oh, can you give me one more year? And they were like, no, you can't take 2 years because you already had a mat leave just before this, And I was like, fair enough. A year. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Probably only a couple of weeks.
Literally. Yeah, I mean, here, I don't think there's even like a government standard of mat leave here other than 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, in Beijing, it's like 158 days, almost half a year.
About 5 months,
yeah.
5 to 6 months. Yeah. No, ours can be even more than a year if you want. As long as you're happy to take some of it unpaid, it's fine. Your job can't let you go or anything. You just have to wait. So yeah, then I finally, after 2 years, after the first year out, I officially had to quit my residency. I was like, oh, but it was too soon to go back.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you both for having me and thank you for the ramen. It's delicious, honestly. It's so good.
Thank you.
I nearly finished the whole bowl and we haven't even started yet.
I really want to talk to you is because you are helping doctors with solving so much issue with like administrative, like,
Yeah.
can you share about what you do?
Yeah. I mean, our story is a little bit up and down because we actually started out by making an EHR. So we created a health record system, and it was very specific for women's health practices. But that was like my background being a physician only specializing in women's health. And then my co-founder, who's my sister, her background was always in big tech, and she had led the health team at Meta. So we were really confident about building this provider tool essentially and started in women's health. But over the last 2 years of doing that and having people actually use the platform and patients engage, the second biggest problem, like actually the first biggest that was taking over most of our conversations with our customers, was more about how patients could communicate with them and how actually the phones are constantly ringing and nobody's able to answer them. Or if they are able to answer them, they're not really able to then talk to the patients in front of them, or they're missing new customers and actually they need new clients so that they can build and grow their businesses, or they're having to juggle so many different patient reminders for appointments, reschedule requests, they're sending out forms and documents to fill in. And actually that side of things was disrupting the day-to-day, where all they really wanted to do was sit down and see the patients. So we suddenly kind of switched, kind of pivoted, and started building out tools where you could use agents to handle phone calls or agents to send SMS messages to a list of patients that are existing or even potential, and then have the agent do some of the tasks. So with us right now, the agents can book in new clients and existing clients. They can reschedule. They can give information, which actually has probably been the biggest use case. Weirdly, it's all things like a lot of our customers offer different types of services, different kind of times of their appointments. They have certain things for where you should park, what you should bring to your visit. Can you bring your children? Can you bring your partner? And all of that can be very easily answered, as we all know. And to be honest, it's mostly on websites. It's just that people don't always
really
have
think,
time
yeah.
to read it and really digest the information. So we've just found that by almost taking over control of those phone lines, we can just funnel all the really important, urgent questions to the clinicians and their team, but take off like 90% of the burden. And that's been the thing that's actually taken off most. So that's what we do right now.
So specifically, it's like AI voicemail,
Yeah.
and the text message, email, and the follow-up emails, all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
typically you would call the phone number on the website of a practice and we would answer. And one of our agents would say, "Hey, this is Sam. I'm part of the team
But
at
by
this
agent, you mean
practice."
like actual human, or is it
AI.
AI.
Yeah,
AI?
all AI. And then they would say, "What brings you to our practice, or why are you calling today?" And based on just that little bit of information, it will determine a lot about what the call could be. So if the client says, "Oh, I'm looking to schedule, never been here before," then the agent can start to book in based on the schedule of the provider. They can look through the HR information, or if they use a scheduler on the website, they could use that. And the outcome could be just booking them in. So it's very much conversational. Most people are aware that it's an AI agent. Some
Yeah.
people are not. And we found actually the most surprising things is that even with little training, our agent has started responding really well in Spanish. And I know I was surprised too, because we hadn't launched that yet. We hadn't launched it. We were going to launch Spanish soon. We wanted to train, we wanted to test and make sure like the conversation went well. But we got a call in Spanish and the agent handled it very, very well. And there was a little pause, here and there. And it obviously does require a little bit of work and fine tuning. But that, although we knew it was very much possible, we thought it would take a bit longer. But now knowing that actually we can switch on different languages at different times, and you could totally imagine what that could mean for a practice, the front desk. It's like, yes, this is perfect. So that was a pleasant surprise for us. Yeah.
Like the front desk, or does it meant to work together with the front desk?
I would say work together is the most important part here. There is an option of things like, say you have no one to cover the calls out of hours, then you could technically replace that out of hours support, which is usually nothing, with an agent to just answer the phones and do some of the tasks overnight as they come in. But on the other hand, if we can handle all of the calls, so we answer 100% of the calls and only push through to the human front desk team, some of those that actually require their attention, it almost becomes like an assistant to the front desk. And so front desk now can get on with the more important tasks, things that could drive revenue, things that could be more important for clinical outcomes. Maybe there's a lot of kind of legislation kind of work going on in the practice that they need to get on with, rather than answering calls nonstop.
Yeah,
It just
because those calls really take a lot of time,
Right.
and some people don't understand.
Right. I mean, what's the biggest question that you would get with someone calling
for us.
Mm.
Well, I never been on the front desk.
Right,
We
right,
have those yeah, but sometimes it's just like what you mentioned.
Yeah.
Like all these, like, what should I take?
Yep.
Or what can I? Yeah, it's like so a lot of like if they're coming for a test, should I be empty stomach or should I? Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
if they have an ulcer, yeah, schedule
Schedule
changes,
changes.
which doctor is there to say that time. They answer, yeah, pretty much all those questions. And you said the clinic is basically for women's clinic,
So
or you're
it
gonna
started that way. And our first like 1 or 2 customers were our existing customers. So that was great. But we've since expanded. We find that the people that are really super interested in this are the ones that maybe struggle with things like no-shows. We have a customer that has a 33% no-show rate for the initial visit. And that's in behavioral health, so it's totally understandable. But you could imagine if we just was able to reduce that by 1 or 2%, the impact that could have on not only the patient's outcomes, because we try and get them in, try and get them to actually be seen, but also then on the clinic revenue and just making sure they're retaining their patients. So it's been good to expand to different specialties. And I think the reason why it's worked well is because when we started in women's health, we learned a lot about patterns of appointments, patterns of scheduling, things like if somebody says they need to schedule their initial booking and they're pregnant and they're saying today they're 11 weeks and 6 days. Well, we know we only have 1 or 2 days to get that patient booked in and we can't just schedule them 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
We want to get our ultrasound done. We want to get our bloods done. So we learned a lot about what it means when there are time constraints around different appointments, and we can use that in other specialties. And then also a lot about sensitivity around the conversations that we would have with people. So we've trained our agents at least to be sensitive, non-judgmental, have no bias around the conversation, and really act like a member of the team. And in some ways, it's sometimes easier to talk to than a human at the front desk who you sometimes have a bit of a relationship with. So we found that to be helpful with all specialties, not just in women's health.
That's so cool.
I'm glad you like it. I will definitely show you the demo after this.
That means like for like something that goes in cycles, then you know when to reach
Yes.
out the best time.
Exactly.
What actually improve the patient retention rate?
We hope so. It's like little things. I know a lot of people do automate this already. For example, if you think about an annual GYN visit or a PAP, a lot of the time you'll know when that's due for the patient population and you'll send an email and you'll hope that everyone will book in, right? But how much of that population are actually going to get booked in on time?
Yeah.
And so if that was the case, you've already sent an email and only 50% booked in, the other 50 we could call for you or we could text for you.
Yeah.
And we found that calling is great. Some people still rely heavily on their phones and don't use the online portals and can't use the online portals. And others rely heavily on quick texting. If they're very busy, you know, they've got a lot going on, and we send a quick text, hey, you're due for your annual visit. Did you have some time next week? And they say, yeah, Tuesday is fine. We can respond with a few times, get them booked in. And it was in the space of 4 SMS messages. We've had some clients say, how are you responding so quickly? Because they're expecting it to be a front desk person who has to check the schedule and then type it all out manually. But that isn't the case. So if they're engaging in that moment in text, we can give them a time they can get booked in and they haven't even really looked away from their phone. So that's been really nice as well.
That is really nice.
It's exciting. Sometimes no, and it depends on how you present. A lot of the time we start the message with, this is an AI agent for X practice. Some people notice that, other people are just like, it's from the practice, well, you know, fine. But it's a lot nicer than typical automated text. I think we've all received text before, like a reminder for your appointment. But with this, we will send a very generic, how are you? How's everything going? How's your day? And if we get a response that includes some kind of conversational message back, we can use that information to do more. So if it's like, actually, I can't come on Tuesday because I don't have the car. Well, we'll reply and say, okay, we do actually very close to the nearest bar. It's only a 5-minute walk. Does that make any difference for your availability on Tuesday? And they might be like, I didn't know that you guys were that close. But yeah, so some of that is kind of baked into the fact that it's not just an automated message, it's actually an agent behind it.
Yeah, because you have different reactions.
Exactly.
And interactions. And
Yeah.
that's very nice. Yeah.
You go.
No, it's okay.
What's your role in? Because like you started from a doctor background,
Right.
and then now you have to build a product.
Yes.
How do you manage this shift, and what surprised you?
Yeah, that's a really interesting one. I think for like as a physician and as a clinician, anybody that works in healthcare knows that we weren't trained in running a business, starting a company, marketing. You know, there's no we weren't trained in marketing, we weren't trained in tech. You know, even that. My colleagues will still be looking at like what AI can do and how they can use it day to day, but it's not something we've been trained on. So when we started the company, my role was the co-founder and chief medical officer. So I was kind of tasked with making sure the product was clinically appropriate for the women's health practices that we serve. So it was things like creating the right encounter note types, making sure that we asked the right questions in our intake form. And we built things like a labor and delivery note, for example. And that was very clear and made a lot of sense. It actually transitioned more into sales, another thing we're not really taught how to do, but
Not that comfortable.
you know, and it's not that comfortable, but I guess naturally we talk a lot and we are able to talk to many different people. And so I found myself being in the sales role, talking to physicians, practice owners, nurses, midwives all the time, and actually quite enjoying it. And it just made it a little bit easier, I guess, to skip the step of you're not really talking to a salesperson, you're just talking to one of the co-founders, but also a physician. So we can skip the whole, do you understand what my practice does? And do you understand the patients that we can skip that. So now that we're building more of this kind of AI based company, it's a little further from my background for sure, but I've still in that kind of sales role and really reaching out to the customers that I think this would work well for and trying to understand whether it would or whether it wouldn't, depending on what they do. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Clinically, we're lucky that AI, the content of AI and the way that it works is so good now that you don't need to do too much. But of course, we have to put in our own like guardrails. We have a lot of words that we want to flag to the agent. If patient mentions X, Y, or Z, this is going to be an urgent call. You shouldn't take this any further. You should pass this to a human. And they're not always that obvious, the types of terms that some people could use. So we do a bit of that as well in the products. Yeah.
So like just telling AI when to say no or when to stop like handling stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah,
important.
we bake that in. I think a lot of people are worried. What if it just starts talking and giving advice, like on the phone to all my patients, and it's wrong? So you can bake that in and you can have it very, very strict rules around what it can talk about and what it can't talk about. And naturally, it won't give medical advice. But we also add in additional like security around that. So if patient mentions a symptom, it's conversation and pass to a human or take the information and suggest a callback. So there's no need to go into any advice or anything like that. So that can be done pretty easily. Yeah.
So with the AI, when the patients have a conversation with AI, they feel, I mean, it's quite natural.
It's very natural. You'll be surprised. I think some people inevitably are going to skip and say, I don't want to talk to this. I want to go straight to a human. And that's totally fine. So we bake that into our like predictions. But most people don't care. They just want to get their thing done. They don't mind if it's, you know, as long as it's quick and it's doing the job, they don't seem to have any problem. Of course, we're not asking them for personal information. We're not asking for real clinical detail here. But if they want to leave a message knowing that this is going to be passed on to their provider, as they would with front desk, they seem quite comfortable to do that. And they can ask questions that the AI can answer really easily. And maybe they don't feel uncomfortable doing that because you don't have to always be polite. You don't always have to like worry about the other person on the other side sometimes. How are they having a good day? Can I ask for one more thing on this call? You know, so they could just say yes, no, yeah, that's fine, and not need to like do much. But we found it fine. Yeah, we found it pretty good. And we've only dropped the same amount of calls that would be dropped if a human had answered the phone at this stage.
I think it works pretty well in the States because in China, there's still some parts are still relying a lot, especially with hospitals or clinics. We still rely on the front desk a lot.
Yeah.
But for here, I think whenever you call for customer service in which area, everything starts with AI.
Yeah.
So
I think people are comfortable with it, especially where we're in a bubble here, obviously in San Francisco. I'd be really interested to see where New York has been fine for us as well. We are just starting out in a clinic in Ohio. We'll see how that goes. But I'd be really interested to see where it doesn't work and where it does work. And actually, if the places we think wouldn't be susceptible to it actually may need it more. And therefore, it is more transformative in a rural community who rely heavily on phone versus us who typically can go on the app and book something or respond to messages in our online portals. So I think there's something here that actually means the people that we least expect might find it the most helpful.
Like when you said with the AI starting to use Spanish, what is made me think is I think you could do it globally for the like for example, there's especially in Asia, the big
Yeah.
like for example, my hospital, we have a lot of translator and we have like with a customer service,
Yeah.
we have different language customer service. So we have people in Arabic, in Russian,
Yeah.
and like German,
Oh my God.
Latinos.
Yeah.
And we have pretty much every language in our
Wow.
hospital.
Those
because-
are real humans who can speak those multiple
yeah,
different
but
languages.
when the patients need them, they'll sometimes we have the translator to come throughout the whole treatment, and
yeah.
that's a lot of
You have to book it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to book when both of them are having the time at the same time.
Yeah.
So if I'm just thinking if you can do this for like the hospital we work,
Yeah.
especially I think because a lot of companies are having their plants in different major cities. So
Yes.
they are like international
Mhm.
hospitals, and with international hospitals, language is something that is really
Yeah.
needed. And probably if you can
I think
to,
that makes
like,
so much
expand.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because here it's just using it for English, but if it's like we have another different version for
Yeah.
for us, because in our hospital it's basically English and Chinese
Okay.
at the same time, but
Yeah.
because it's in Beijing, so it's very international. We have
Wow.
different countries of
I think we are
there, and
maybe underestimating like how much potential this type of thing can
I
have.
think this
Yeah.
could be something you could think about.
I'd love to.
Because like within our hospital, there's probably more than 60 countries of
Oh my
patients.
goodness. Yeah.
More than that, because all the embassies are in Beijing. So
of course.
we have people
From
from
over.
different continents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes total sense. And I think, yeah, even if it's something as simple as patients calling a hospital and they're speaking in their native language, can the person on the other end just suddenly start speaking their language? Maybe in 10% of cases, but probably not with everyone.
Yeah,
So it's like, it's a start.
Yeah, because like we use WeChat a lot.
Okay.
And with WeChat, we have English
Yeah.
channel, and with that account, there's like different accounts, like with Russian, with
Oh,
German,
wow.
with French, with Spanish, and then they will have a different
Yeah.
translator to help do that, and that's why
Yes.
I think that's very demanding.
I agree. I think the language thing surprised us. We knew it would work, but we didn't know it would work that well. And we didn't expect for the person on the other side to keep talking. We thought they might realize, like, okay, this is an AI bot trying to speak Spanish, and it's not. But they kept talking. So I think there's definitely big potential, and I think we would all love to just have those conversations with like health systems to sit down and really figure out what does this actually mean to you guys on a daily basis? Like booking a translator at the same time as the physician or clinician schedule and the patient, it's a lot of work.
Yes.
And I can imagine you can't do that for everyone all of the time.
Yeah.
And it might delay treatment. It might delay, I don't know, diagnoses and conversations around that. I think I had a similar experience in the breast clinic when I was there one time. And we just had to book them in for another week or 2 weeks. Whilst everybody is fully aware of what's going on, just can't communicate it very well to the patient. And that's on us. That's something we need to fix.
Even though, like, thank God there's like Google Translate right now. At the beginning, I had someone um, from Arabic. I forgot which country, but we were using Google just to like she speaks in and then I type in and then she's like, okay. And then she asked me back, but because with the translation, there's still
it's not perfect.
Like, and sometimes when it's more like medical terms, it doesn't really translate well. And even with the translator, if the person is not a medical background, they don't really know how to translate that.
Exactly.
And for me, I'm a Chinese, like I do TCM.
Yeah.
And that's even hard to translate. It's not even, some aren't even able to translate into English. you to understand because the whole concept is different. So everything could be lost in translation.
And I think if in your case, it would be so interesting if you did trial some kind of agent for these different languages. And I say that because the difference with AI versus like a Google Translate is that it learns. So once you've explained something one time, the second time you ask, it's going to be better at it. The third and fourth time, and then when somebody else asks, it knows exactly how to respond and explain because it's been trained in that way. So it only gets better and can recognize things in more ways versus like when we type into Google Translate, that's it. It's just going to give me what it gives me, and I will have to try and figure out how else to say the thing. But I do think the agent piece and like the AI and the LLMs are the idea is that the more you train, the better they get, and we're seeing that already. So it's been I think I would love to see what you do with it. Try it out.
It is interesting because like we were trying out like the AIs in the States and the AI in China.
Yeah.
Because the AI in China definitely understand Chinese medicine.
Okay.
I think they've already been trained there. So like I use the AI in China and then to ask about like Chinese medical terms.
Nice.
But for here, they're still a little bit confused.
Yeah.
They haven't been trained yet. So with this, if you can combine these together, I think that will be interesting. Yeah.
I think that this is going to be game changing, and I think this is what it's all about, like being here, learning from everyone else in San Francisco in particular, and just kind of what people are building and what they can do. It means that we can take pieces of that and create what we actually need. But yeah, that's kind of where our focus is now. We're currently rolling out with different customer types. We want to see who it works best for, who uses it the most, who doesn't need it, who really needs it, which specialties is actually really beneficial in. And I think it spans everybody, but we'll see. We'll get there and we'll see what works the best.
And I think your timing is really good with the AI expansion right now. It's like so fast than you can imagine.
Exactly. And I think when we started this company 2 years ago, we were just starting to understand more about AI and to use it day to day. But creating agents to do tasks is quite new. And I think we've luckily caught it at the right time that we can use it, and it's kind of a real eye opener for people. It's like a wow moment when they hear the demo and they get to do like a trial run, and people want it. I've spoken to folks who have hospitals who still use paper records and don't even have electronic health records. And I would think, I don't think they're going to go for this. I don't think they'll be interested in our AI agents, right? But the opposite. They're saying, actually, we need this because our call center is fully staffed. We're dropping all of these calls. We're going to have some kind of like financial issues if we don't answer all of our calls, and we're going to be in trouble from the other higher up and all of that. And I thought these folks will not go for the agents because it's quite new. But actually, no.
I think it could be because everything that already were online doesn't fit what they need.
Yeah,
what
otherwise
you
they would
did,
have got it.
yeah, and what you did is like matching up whatever they need. Because I think some of the like bookings or something, it's just like it's right almost there.
It's
but
almost
just,
there.
yeah, just like missing something to connect the dots. Yeah, so
I think so. I think we've all called something and it's this like robotic recorded voice, and it's press 1 to do this. And I have this problem even today. I was calling Kaiser and it said, if you want to talk to a staff member, say staff member. And I said staff member. But because I didn't say staff, it didn't pick it up. And I was like, so I had to say it 3 times. And then when I changed my accent, which is like, the funniest, then it picked it up and I got through to a staff member. But I wouldn't know to do that, if that makes sense. So I was just like, those are the things that it doesn't work. Whereas if it was an agent that answered, they would know exactly what I was saying. But yeah. I need to talk to guys, I think.
True. They will be a very good client.
They would.
You can go for other enterprise markets.
Right? I would love to. I think, I don't know how it was when you all started, but we seem to have made real good relationships with small practices and people that are almost in this together who've started their own thing and built up. And I think we're getting there. We know a few enterprise kind of health systems leaders and things like that, but it's not always easy to find those folks.
Yeah.
Just in terms of numbers, a lot more clients.
Yeah, like one by one.
Yeah.
I think
it's different markets.
It's
You
very
do
different.
custom development. That's like not a product building.
I agree. It's been really nice for us to just get to know private practices, small clinics and that kind of thing. And it's nice to work with them because they do have time. They have time to sit with you 1 hour every week and become like a design partner. And you build something that actually does make a big difference day to day. And I think we know we can do that at scale, but you have to bake in the sales cycle, the time it takes to get a large customer to even firstly take the call, then tell you what they actually need. Does it match with what you want to build or not? And then to even consider piloting with us versus somebody else.
There's also a lot of politics
think
with
so.
staffing and also who's taking credit.
Who
and
makes the
everything.
decision?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been trying, speaking to a few people who in our own network, and seeing how it works in their hospital groups and who kind of needs to champion this thing, what's their timelines like. And so far it's been still positive, and I think the need for this type of product is definitely there. And the next step is just navigating these health systems and how that all works.
It sounds very exciting for you.
It's kind of exciting. Yeah, it's kind of exciting. It must be nice to have a dog in the city because it gets you outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been nice. It's at the beginning she said like
It's hot. We can
A little hot.
and-
Yeah.
in the beginning we thought San Francisco is like really cold and
Right.
gloomy.
Right.
But we've been here like 2 months now.
Okay. Just 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're new.
2 months.
Totally.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
All the practices, it's like starting from
Oh my God, that's so
like the whole
cool.
podcast is as an effort to basically people
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun.
to kind of decline.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like moving from the hospital to
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah. Have you told your story on the podcast? I want to know a bit more about what you do and how it's worked out.
We like when on the first episode
Yeah.
is more about me just
Okay,
ranting
okay.
about everything.
Okay. It's always the ranting. The first 1 year is ranting. That's all I'm gonna say. After 1 year, you'll stop ranting.
Okay, so we got 10 more months to go.
Yes, it's the truth, guys. Do you do this thing where, like, every time you go outside, you compare it to where you used to live? Like,
Yes.
oh, if I was at home, this bin would not be like this. Someone would have cleaned it. Or if I was at home,
Yeah, the vacuum.
yeah.
Why don't they have the best model?
Oh, well, you guys have that. Oh, we don't even have that.
Like the one we have in Beijing is like auto clean
No.
the bin and also
It can
No.
yeah, it goes back to itself and then it cleans the cloth.
the station and everything. So you don't have to and then I'm like, too expensive.
Yeah.
Like
The newest model.
No.
it's like 5 years ago.
That's crazy. And like, even do you go to the grocery store and compare the prices? Yeah, every day. So this thing happens, guys, and it makes you in a really bad mood. Like, I'll be honest.
I thought
After a
London,
year,
I thought London is very expensive.
not compared to San Francisco.
Oh really?
This is like double my living cost here. Yes, I
This is-
promise you. I'm not joking, guys.
This is like triple, and then the earning is like 1/3. So it's like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, when
Okay, so
Like, oh, you know
what? Tell me what made you come here then. I want to. Yeah, I want to know. But seriously, what made you come here?
she's the one.
What did you want to do?
Because she does marketing and everything. At the
Ah.
beginning, she got a job, and then I thought with her age, like it's a good time
Yeah.
to
Just do it.
explore. And then because the economy in China isn't that good right
fine.
now, like right after COVID on 2022, 23rd, then everything starts going down. So we thought might as well just move.
See how it
And-
goes.
Yeah. And then it became like she lost her job, out of a job. So now we're like trying to do
We're just like,
everything.
Hmm. No, it makes sense. I think it's similar. It's like the opportunity is here. If we stick it out, we'll get there.
Yes.
We know it deep down. Like,
Yeah.
you get another job, your practice will grow. My husband will get a job. We know this,
But
but it
it's
takes
just the-
time to get
Just
there.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
It's hard.
yesterday, we were talking to another, it's like, she's more like a life coach. And something,
Yeah.
and she was talking about grief,
Yeah,
but not it, like what your determines of grief is not just like a friend that passed
Yeah.
away or someone close that passed away. It's like when you even with moving,
Yeah.
you're grieving your old life. That's a
Exactly.
type of grief.
It's a loss, really.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
with that, that's what I was saying to
Yeah.
her. Like, yeah, I'm still grieving my old life,
too.
all my good friends, my colleagues.
Okay, we're in the same boat. But yeah. I agree. For the first year, honestly, I struggled. That's all. I'll just pass it to you guys to know that it's normal. It then got better, but the thing that I had to do, I had to like consciously switch from the comparison to the like just embrace it. And I had to stop saying stuff like, if I was to order this chicken and rice at home, it'd be £5 and here it's $25, right?
And
But I had to stop.
even
I just
worse.
had to stop. I had to be like, oh, 25. Oh yeah, that's good. And then I had to like consciously train my brain to like think positively because otherwise it was literally beating me down every
I
day.
know. Now I don't really want to think how much
I know.
it is in China. Ugh.
It's so bad. Yeah. And the thing for us is like the salaries actually should be double here compared to back home. So although the cost went up, the salary should actually be a lot better. So it's worth it once you get to that point. And obviously the potential for the future is a lot better. And we do think about with the kids and college and stuff like that, and whether they would have more opportunities globally. I don't know, we come from the UK. It's like there's great chances there too. But yeah, so we have to think like keep thinking long term, long term. Yeah, but you're not alone.
Yeah, yeah, because I never really liked coming back to the States. Like, I've tried it 5 years ago, and that was just only me. She
Yeah.
was still in Beijing, and I couldn't live with that. It was like I was really miserable
Yeah.
building up my own clinic, and so as soon as I got a new job offering, it came out of nowhere. Some other hospital back in
Oh,
Beijing. I think it was probably God sensed that I'm not happy here.
Yeah.
When I was going back for just visiting for 10 days. And
All of a
then
sudden.
at the very first day I was like having jet lag. I checked my emails.
Oh my God.
I got an email from this hospital, and it's like,
What?
how did this happen? Because I sent them my CV like 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know how they.
Oh.
I didn't know how they dug it up.
They were
And
like,
I was
there's no one good. Let's go back, go back to the archives.
and then I was there for only 10 days and this happened. So I was
Wow.
like, okay, I'm just gonna give them a call. And then the whole interview went nice and it's like, sure, I'm coming back. I don't want to stay
Yeah,
until
your chance.
and thank God I went back because when I went back, that's 2020, just
Oh, no.
right when COVID started.
Yeah. Because if you were here alone,
It's gonna be even worse. As the first 2 years of COVID, China was still working
Yeah.
pretty normally.
yeah.
Yeah, and that was
Damn,
okay.
like, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but after 5 years working in the hospital, it's like, yeah.
Mm.
Well, I love my job, but I thought probably we can come and have a change, even though
Give
I
it a
still
try.
complain every day.
Yeah, the complaining will stop soon. 1 year,
Hopefully.
1 year. We both, me and my husband, we're both complaining. This is like not good. Like both of us are complaining at each other, and we're like, this is so abnormal for us. We're very positive, very like happy people, go out and about all the time, like the social people. And for us too to be complaining was like very unusual. We had to literally just say, just don't say it, just don't say it anymore. Like just stop. And this helps a lot. Coming to this is the second year now. It'll be 2 years in like December, and this year's been great. And then even things like with this green card thing, we can't travel now. So, and we weren't really traveling much anyway, but we did want to go back to London for Christmas and see all my friends and family. But then we were like, okay, we can't go back to London. So what will we do? We'll instead every weekend we'll go and do something that we wouldn't normally do, and we'll like explore California so that if for some reason they kick us out of the country, when we go back, we'd be like, oh yeah, we
At
had a
least
great
we
time. We did everything we wanted to do. And you know, we saw all these amazing things and we did all these things we would never do. Like we did skiing, we did surfing, we did, and
So
at
you
least we
pretty much
feel like we've done something.
pretty much went all over California or any
Well, we're
other.
still going, we're still trying. I think, well, we went to San Diego a couple of weeks ago. We did Legoland. It was really nice. It was actually really cool. And yeah, I don't know what's next, but we're trying to just get out more and just do things that, like, we went to the beach. I think it was last weekend we were at the beach. That was nice.
Is it cold?
It was Half Moon Bay and it was not cold at all.
Oh, half
Yeah,
okay,
it wasn't
okay.
cold at all.
I
Yeah.
read I know they have like good seafood and but you don't eat. Do you?
I eat seafood. Yeah. Yeah, I love a little, clam chowder and all of that stuff. Fish and chips back home. I don't know
Uh-huh.
if you guys have had that, but it's not the same here. But anyway, we're not comparing anymore.
Yeah, we've been trying like going to Chinatown, and it's like I understand.
That must
So
be so different.
so it's like, okay, I'm just gonna cook. Like buying groceries are yeah, it's still more expensive than
Yeah.
in China, but at least comparing to eating out, it's way
Yes.
cheaper.
Yeah, we feel the same. Like, I think we used to eat out a lot more, and order in a lot more. But here we've been really healthy and like really focused on making our own meals. In the long run, I find that this San Francisco, the Bay Area, maybe it's a California thing, but actually people are really focused on health. And that in a way is probably a great thing for us. Like as a family, we should be more focused on our health. And it's forced us to cook more, to plan the meals, like to go and hike, which is something I would never ever do. To go and run even. We started running. We're doing a
Oh, nice.
5K next week. In November, we're doing a 5K, and just little things that we wouldn't really do because we'd be having too much fun, like going out all the time. But now we've started to do like to switch it a little bit, and now it's more health focused. So this definitely promotes that by living here.
That's good. Yeah, I think I love cooking when I was back in Beijing, but now I think my techniques had even went up a
Nice.
notch because when we were in New York for a whole month,
Oh wow.
I have no soy sauce, no other sauce, and whatever
Yeah.
I had was we went to fancy food fair.
Yeah.
So we got lots of samples, and I started
Nice.
using those samples and mix and match and start making
Yeah.
the food. And it turned out to be nice.
Okay,
It's like
great.
so I don't need as much, and I try to
Yeah.
learn using everything I have
That
in
you've
the
got.
yeah, and not like throwing it out.
Yeah,
Like a lot.
exactly. Yeah, I think we'll have to like train our minds by doing a big move like this. And I think I don't know, I underestimated it because we speak English. I thought that meant that everything was going to be the same. I didn't think it would be a huge change coming here. And obviously the cultures, I thought it was quite similar to
But
the
it's
UK,
not.
but it's not the same at all. And yeah, so it was like a big culture shock. And I think I definitely didn't think that would happen. None of my friends or family thought that we'd find it to be a
Yeah,
culture shock.
it's very
And it was.
interesting that for you
Yeah.
to say that.
I know, I know.
Because from us, from Asia, it's really different. I was born here. I grew up till 6 when I left, so I
Yeah.
thought I loved living
Yeah.
here. But apparently,
Different.
I grew up in Taiwan. Every time I come back, just visiting, that's fine. But living
Mhm,
here is
mhm.
like totally different.
Yeah. No. I don't know what it was specifically, but I think there's little things like, as I mentioned, we have a big walking culture back in London. It's much easier to just get like walk somewhere or get on the tube, public transport, and that in itself like means you do certain different things. So when you're going out shopping, you're walking between every single shop and you're talking with your friends at the same time. And I think here it's like, I'll meet you at this restaurant and I'll park the car, I'll get inside. And then after that, we'll be going our separate ways. And I found like the social side of it was difficult. Again, even though London is much smaller, there's a lot of traffic. So if I do need to drive to meet a friend late at night, I'm happy to drive an hour. That's normal. Like, I don't mind it at all. I'm very used to it. But I found that here, if you're in a different city, even though it's less than an hour drive, so Fremont to San Francisco, Oakland to San Francisco, people would be really reluctant to kind of cross those bridges to like go to different parts of the Bay. And for me, I'm like, I'm happy to drive because if I want to see a friend, I will do it. But I found that a lot of people seem to prefer to stay within their like locations when it comes to like socializing. So that was a surprise. And then even things like honestly like driving. Just learning how to drive on this side of the road was enough to create so much anxiety in me that I was like, I don't want to drive. So just little things like that it just really, you think everything's going to be the same and it's not. So yeah, all these little things add up. And I think now is actually much, much better. Passed my driving test. I have my license and I know now which grocery stores I like to go to, which ones I like find are really good prices and like the healthy food options for the kids and everything. And now I'm like, no, I know what I'm doing now. So it definitely did a flip after about a year, maybe a bit more. And now that we're like out and about exploring and doing the things that you do here, like being outside, which is something we didn't do a lot of back home because of the weather. So now I'm seeing all the positives. And yeah, I'd be glad to stick it out, really like see the full potential happen. And really, I think the big thing as well is that my kids love it. They love it. They absolutely love it. Like they couldn't, I don't think they could go back home actually because they'd be like, why is it raining? When can I see my friends? Like, can I go outside? Can I play? And we'd be like, no. But here, they can just run around. They can play with their friends, bikes, scooters, skateboards. They're doing all these things, swimming, and they're just really enjoying that. So that's definitely like worth it for me. So yeah, it will change soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully.
It will. I promise you guys. I promise you.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one. I think we could probably have some similarities in this. Even today, I was thinking about how I used to work on a schedule. I don't know if you used to work on a
Yeah.
very tight schedule, and it was like, not only did we know our rota, like 6 weeks in advance of the job starting, we would know exactly where we needed to be for the next 6 months. Then they would give us a new one. And it was things like the first week it will be 9 to 5, the next week it will be 7 to 7, the next week it will be night shifts. So it was like a very structured way of working. And I knew on this day, I probably will run late. On this day, I might be a little bit early. But I could plan like my whole life around this schedule because
Yeah.
it was actually there. Whereas now, there isn't really much structure.
It's like day to day.
It's day to
And then you
day.
need to check the calendar, which time I have a time slot or something. You need to plan. Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah.
And I think people often say like, oh, coming from working in like an on-call system in the hospital, you must have, I don't know, you must have now, like being a founder, it must be so hard because being a founder, they say is you don't have much time, you're always working, you're working late at night on the laptop and things like that. But on the other hand, I think because it's less structured, I've found that I can do a bit more things in like picking up the kids at 2 p.m. if I need to from school, if I was in the hospital,
It's
way
flexible.
there
You
is
can
more
work around
flexibility.
your work and yeah.
Yeah, so that's been a good thing that I've changed. But I certainly have never been in so many meetings in my whole life as I have in the last 2 years doing this work. Like we've rarely had meetings, but every day is meetings here. So it's like,
Yeah, I'm learning how to do meetings.
Yeah.
Like even with responding to emails and messages, not like these aren't like not writing notes and stuff, and it's not just talking to your patients. It's
Yeah.
totally different.
It's totally
Yeah,
different.
yeah. And for me, there's also the language, like how I need to use what type
Right.
of tone. It's totally different.
Yeah. And I don't know if you found that it's just a different expectation almost. It's like when you're working in a hospital, people are booked in to see you. They may not be happy about coming because they're probably unwell, but they appreciate that you're here. Versus this side is more like I'm trying to sell something that I think you might need. Almost, I probably know you do need it, but I have to explain it to you and sell it to you. Versus I actually used to just sit on a
tell
chair
you
and people will come and I will tell
tell
you.
you what to do.
Yeah.
This is what I can do for you.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I do miss like work, good or bad. Like, working for the big hospital, there's lots of rules and stuff. And now you can set up your own rule.
True.
At the same time, I'm a little bit scared. Like,
Yeah.
what if I do this wrong? It's like now I know how, like doing a ministry and all those admin stuff are really they really do so much, and we didn't
Exactly.
really appreciate that.
Yeah, it was actually a nice like bubble to just turn up to work and just see the patients, do what you need to do, and go home.
Yeah.
And actually now, like building things that we've built, if there's a bug, for example, at midnight and something goes down, we have to respond. And if I was in the hospital and I was not on shift, of course I wouldn't even know anything happened inside the hospital, right? Until I came the next day. But here it's no, everything is on you. There is no backup. There is no admin team, management team. There's no like executive team other than you.
Yeah, now I think even though doctors work in the hospitals, they are like in the front line. But yes, like I was the past 4 days I was in LA to my friends. She flew from Beijing for a class in UCLA. It's MHA, so it's management in hospitals and stuff.
Interesting.
And what she's a pharmacist in our hospital, and she's learning this just for some day she could go ahead and step up for doing something else. And then from her courses I learned like everything working in the vaccine
Yeah.
is really important.
Exactly. And I think there's a element of like, if one thing goes wrong in such a huge setting like that, it can affect a lot of people. But at the same time, there's a lot of people to hold it up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like nets that go throughout the system.
Yeah.
Whereas in our case now, if something goes wrong and say
You have to
your
do
whole system goes down, every single patient now can't book in. They can't be seen or something like that. And it's not, there's not as many fail safes as we used to have. And like, we used to have seniors, you know, I used to have people above me, hundreds of people above me that I would go to for help or advice, or they would watch you literally do certain things. Whereas now it's like, there is no seniors.
It's good, but it's also scary.
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah, like when I was in LA, my friend met up with her other friends, and there's this guy. He's almost he'll be retired to next year, and he's also like the boss of all the. So he does like training for interns for
Okay.
pharmacists, and he take control of a lot of. He works for Kaiser, and they had they had a strike last week or 2 weeks ago, and he need to do all the coordination and then bring people down just to help the basic hospital function.
Yeah.
Still going through, and then just thinking like, yeah, like going back to your product. Yeah, with that, it does help probably with the big hospitals. They
Yeah.
will need a lot of these.
Yeah. I think we'll see it within the next 1 or 2 years. I think every large hospital that any of us call will have an agent answering the phone. So it's really now a question of like, which agent are they using? Which company are they using? And I think there are some really big players that haven't actually announced these types of agents in the market yet, but I'm sure they're working on them because it makes a lot of sense and, you know, we can see it clearly. So for us being like a small startup, it's just a typical like question. Do we get there first? Do they trust that we're a small startup? So that means we actually can work really quickly and we can make changes really quickly. We don't have other huge customers that are, you know, working on. Or do they wait for the big guys and maybe it takes another 2 years? Maybe it's like, it's okay, it functions all right, but they are a bigger name. So that's kind of where we're at with like a typical health system will make these decisions. Do they pilot with a new guy or do they wait for the traditional players in the game to come out with the same thing and just hope that that's the one that's going to work best for them? I think we want to find the people that are willing to take the chance and want to really build something that works just for them. And then of course they can tweak it and they can change it and they can make it work perfectly for them and they don't have to wait. So that's the benefit if people do choose smaller practices or smaller startups, smaller companies, they don't have to wait. They can just get online and get going and make those changes as we go along. And the sales cycle will be much easier. We still have the same things. We still have the same processes, the SOC 2, the HIPAA and everything. We still have to work within the same realms as the big companies, but we can work faster. And if something doesn't work, we can change it quickly. Yeah, I do hope some large players will give some startups some attention and can start calling our hospitals next week and there'll be agents answering the phone and we'll all be like, oh, great, you know, finally.
So are there other startups doing similar to what
There's a couple. Some have different models to us. There's some amazing people in the same space. You'll notice there's a lot of AI agents for things like documentation. So beyond the scribes, like what do they do with the information from the scribe? Do they create a note from it? Do they create a patient summary? Do they then send the summary to the patient? So there's a lot of that, which I think is amazing. And then we've got some of the larger, more just tech companies actually, not necessarily in healthcare, that serve lots of industries. So they might have an agent for a restaurant or a gym and then also a hospital. So that can be quite good as well because it's like, it's tried and tested by other industries. But at the same time, it's not very healthcare specific. So there is a couple out there.
Contents aren't built as
exactly
isn't being trained.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll get there eventually. But it's very generic. It's very like similar to the automated message style, I think. So there are people out there, which is good. It means that there must be demand coming from somewhere, but we just have to be competitive and kind of keep being one step ahead all the time. And then, yeah, we always look for competition. I think if there isn't one, it's great. You might be the very first person, which is amazing. But also, does it mean that there's a lot of need? We're not sure. And whereas I think this is a real clear one. And yeah, we're starting with our smaller, medium size, having conversations with the larger systems. And everyone, so if nobody has said no, which is really like honestly very good compared to like our experiences with other products. This one, nobody has said no.
It's good. So
Like you mean you cold outreach to like new clinic?
Right. Well, not quite, not quite. People that we have the conversation with. So I would say cold outreach in healthcare is very dead. I have been emailing for the last 2 years and I get some, responses and things like that. No matter what the content of the email is, I think it's really hard. I don't know about you, but when I wake up, there's 20 junk emails in my main. It's like really hard to actually focus on anything. But for those that actually do take the call, and most of them are referrals from friends or from existing customers, all of those folks have said, I need this. I would love this. What could it do? And I think that's the fun part. It's like they start to think about how could this work for me? And what could it do for my team that would help me? And rather than it being like, this is a generic product, it might fit in, might not fit in. I'll think about it. It's always, so could we actually add this on to out of hours and support team work? And can we put this in the admissions department? And of course, it's almost like an endless possibility of things that you could do. And then we just have to get to the next stage and actually figure out, do we match up with our intentions here? And would it be useful? What's the price like? And that kind of thing. But nobody has said, no, don't need it. And like I said, I think we know people will say yes. They'll say yes. They want to know about it. They want to hear it. They want to call the number themselves. Even at that, that's enough for us to just get them interested. But it's really just about getting those calls in. And we're using our network right now, but as guys know, it's slower than having like loads of inbound. And we don't have any marketing right now. We haven't even relaunched our website yet. So actually nobody really knows what we do. Like with the previous one, people would say no. And I was used to it. Half the people would say yes, next call, half the people would say no, it's not for me. Whereas with this one, nobody has said no. And I'm like, that is very interesting. So one person said yes, but let's talk about it in November. That's the furthest anyone's pushed it out, which is insane. Most people are like, okay, yeah. They keep asking more and more questions. I don't have time to answer all the questions, and then I have to book in the second call. That's typically what's happening. And they're like, wait, could I use this for, yeah. And so now when we do our new website, we're putting the agent on our phone line. And the agent will book in with me or one of the team. And that technically will serve as the demo because they've already called. So hopefully we can speed through that part as well. Let me show you. So what's a good one to use? I'll put it on speaker.
Hey, you're through to Sam. How can I help you out today?
Oh, hi. I wanted to book in an appointment.
I can help with that. To get started, could I get your full name, please?
Yeah, it's Lailah Kara-Newton.
And what type of appointment are you looking to book? We offer pregnancy care, gynecology care, prequel counseling.
Yeah, I'd like to book in a PAP.
Okay, Lailah, so you're looking to book a gynecology appointment for a pap smear. Which of our clinics would you prefer to visit? We have locations in Brooklyn, downtown Manhattan, Upper West, Norwalk.
Is the Brooklyn location near a subway station?
Yes, our Brooklyn location at 109 Muncie Street is conveniently located near several subway stations. The closest ones are the R train at Court Street, the S train at York Street, and the C3 trains at Clark Street. It's pretty easy to get.
Yeah, I'll go for that one, please.
Great choice. Now, what day and time would work best for you for your appointment at the Brooklyn clinic?
Could I do Monday afternoon?
Scheduled for Monday afternoon at our Brooklyn clinic. Can you please hold for just a moment?
wow.
Yeah, when she's going to
That's
come back and
so
book me in.
smooth.
What do you think?
This is so good.
You like
That's-
it?
yeah, no wonder people don't really. It's very natural and you
Yeah.
feel comfortable.
Yeah. It wouldn't put you off if you called that night and you had to book an appointment. You'd be fine. Yeah. So that's the basic version. There's a lot more, but this is one that can just book somebody in and it goes to the EHR of the practice. So we would do the integration with Epic or even Athena, all the others. And of course, we have our own EHR, so that's the easiest. A lot of people use Acuity on their websites and things like that, or Calendly. And we can do an integration with that. We've done those integrations already because they were the quickest. So it will book. And then depending on your EHR, if you get a notification whenever an appointment comes in, it will do the same thing. Calendly, they send an email. Acuity, they send an email. If you have that all set up, it's just going to basically be like a person booked them in. So the same thing will happen. Yeah.
I just wish we had that really back in our hospitals. Because of the economy, they cut down so much. We have a call service center. It's being a lot of people got laid off.
Yeah.
But then people my patients kept complaining it's so hard to call to the hospital. and there's no one picking up the phone. It's just the same question. Usually, sometimes they'll ask, like, "Can I add your WeChat?" And usually, we're not supposed to add patients' WeChat
Right.
unless, like, we're really close. I was like, "Okay, I know it's so hard
Yes.
to
No,
book
you don't
and
want to.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to my personal and yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, this will be total.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
should
I think
expend.
I know. Give me the phone number. I'll call them. I think what people might not get is that if you're trying to reduce costs and you can't afford to hire more human staff,
You need
those are
the-
salaries,
yeah,
right? This will cut the costs
and then
entirely. And not to replace people, because people are always going to be required. There's so much more medically complex conversations
Yes.
that need to be had. But for sure, if you're thinking about
For the
stuff at
people-
night, the
yeah, and
weekend,
for the people on the front desk, they really can do what they should do, or they can do more efficiently
Yeah.
without dealing with these kind of phone calls.
So even if it just reduces the pressure by 10%, 20%, 30%, by
That's
taking
a
the
lot.
calls in the beginning and then passing them to the right team, like just even directing it appropriately will save times. Although I think there are going to be big systems out there that think, oh no, we can't afford this. It's another expense to our list. Actually, it will reduce the overhead costs. Instead of paying a salary of, let's just say $50,000 for a call center team member, you could use an AI agent and pay, I don't know, $12,000 for a year. The saving is going to be crazy. And I think it will only be
Yeah.
more and more as they add more features and kind of help their human staff to do their jobs. I'm glad you liked it. I was surprised. I didn't even realize we would do the demo, but it's so easy and quick that, it's nice for people to hear it.
It's really good.
Yeah,
It's
definitely. Especially when you didn't like you are kind of tricking it, like not
Yeah.
exactly. what
Exactly.
you're
I was like,
telling.
oh yeah, maybe I could do.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be perfect.
Yeah,
Your
that's cool.
accent doesn't have to be perfect. The way you speak, the words you use, that's the beauty of it. And I think it's so much nicer than trying to just fit into this automated box that they set for us.
cool.
Thank you. We did it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both.